people are not getting employment, then we need to sit down and come up with what can be the problem leading to the what can be the causes of this problem. So if you are researching that, that's the problem. Some people will research the causes. Some people will research about the possible solution to the problem based on the causes identified. So that means for every research, there must be what? Problem. However, if you talk about when we are saying there must be problem, the problem can be identified by several scholars, several researchers at the same time, and all of them we want to or might have worked on the same problem. Many researchers might have worked on the same problem that you are just identifying, and that is why they call it research and not search. If it is search, you are searching for new thing entirely. But if it is research, that means it doesn't mean that you are doing it does not mean that another person cannot do it. Because people will still be doing and doing it until we reach a stage where the problem has been solved in its entirety. Do you get? So that is what we want to treat now. No greeting. What is research problem identification? How will you identify a problem? Because before you even pick research title, or as we used to call it, research topic, how will you identify that problem? Because the problem is supposed to lead you to your topic. It's supposed to form your topic or your title. I like to call this title because I read that title is smaller version of the problem. Topic is broad, while title is smaller, very short, very focused. That's why I'm using title, not, but we are all used to topic. So if I use title, I'm still referring to the topic that you are used to. Do you get? So that means if you have problem, that is when you can have title or topic. Without problem, there is nothing to research about. Then my question now is, how do we now identify problem? It's not enough to say, students are failing. That is not problem yet. Yes, students are failing can be problem. Only if you back it up with evidences that students are failing. And you cannot tell me students are failing. If you are a researcher, they will ask you, in what aspects? Is it academically? If it is academically, in what subject? At what level? All these things. Because some people say, I picked my research because I noticed that students are failing. Okay, students are failing. In what subject? In what topic? How many of you noticed that since 2020 or 2021 in Lagos State, public school pupils, public school students in WAEC have been doing better than private schools?
Yes.
Since 2022 or 20, I did a study for someone in 2020, immediately after 2021. The argument that the person had when they were picking the topic is that public school used to fail in WAEC, especially in mathematics and English. But when they gave me to write for them as a researcher, I had to think, if I just said this is not enough, I need to prove it that yes, there is this problem, especially in my statement of the problem and my background of the study. Because I need to allow my reader, I need to immerse my reader into the problem. I need to let them realize that yes, there is a problem.
You have to have sympathy for the problem.
Exactly. Because if I'm reading your work and I'm not seeing the problem, then there is no need for me to go further. If you just tell me, I'm failing, only call I'm failing, but what is the magnitude of this failure? To buy a pen, you're making failure, you know your memoir. What is the failure or more? What is the failure system? But if you bring out the empirical facts, the reader will be able to follow the problem also that tó bá ti máa di fọ́ọ̀kì nìkan ní lọ́mọ kankan ní fíìdì mọ́ because wọ́n ti ń fail already, then we need to come up with a solution. I don't know if you are following me. Yes, so that means problem is very germane to research topic. Every research topic must have a problem. Now, how do we now identify a problem? There are some problems that you will think and identify. But your thinking alone is not sufficient. Like I said, you need to back it up with what? So if you are conducting a study about student failure in Lagos State, and you are now saying that students in failing, you run out of power. Because you need to tell us if the students are failing in what subjects, in what context, that is in school only. Is it private or public? Are we together? That's one. Number two is, if you can't think, you can get a research problem through news, through articles. For instance, you can, if you are listening to news of recent, you will be hearing them, or newspaper, you'll be hearing the fact that majority of our medical practitioners in Nigeria are Japan. Is a problem. So if there is a way you can domesticate the problem to your own field of study, it's a problem. But you will not stay at that alone. You need to back it up with what? Fact and figures. How many doctors or medical practitioners are we producing per year? How many are actually working in Nigeria? How many are going outside the country? That's another one. But believe me, before you can say it is a problem, you need more than just that. You ask me why. If you are saying that is the problem, if you go online and type it, you will see that someone has done something on it. Then is it still a problem? Someone has come with a solution. Is it still a problem? That means if you are bringing any problem, aside from knowing what to do, you must go online. Search for what people have done on the problem that you identify. Then look out for what they have not done. If you pay attention, you see that I'm trying to tell you that your research problem and research gap, they are like this. If you are writing a problem without showcasing the research gap, your problem is not enough. Because there is no problem. Even COVID-19 happened within 2019-2020. Even before the end of 2019, there are millions of papers on COVID-19 online. Mm-hmm. So if you now want to write on COVID-19, you are not saying that it will die. Some people have said it earlier. So you need to domesticate the problem to your own context. And how will you do it? You go online, gather what people have done. You fetch reports, let your readers see that. Though, so and so have worked on this in this so context. This person have done this person have done this. But in my own context, near to go by, nothing has been done. Meanwhile, I've noticed this, and this were the effects of this problem, of which if we don't solve this problem now, it can lead to this, and this. You can see how a research problem is. So it goes beyond among faith. If I want to conduct a study, like the one that I mentioned earlier, then, so when we now realize that public school students are actually doing well than the private school students, I just advise the person, is either we change this topic to private school, but we all know that we are more concerned about public than private. So, or we change this to another state entirely, so that we will not, the data will not be contradicting what we are saying. So all I'm saying about research problem is, if you want to identify a research problem, aside from thinking about the area, you need to go online, read what people have done. Now, what are those areas that we now look at for when you are reading? That is major problem for many of us. We all understand that, yes, I will read other people's work. But how will I now discover that, okay, this work, this is what this person has done. This is what is left for me to be done. Mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹgbọ́n mi yé ẹni tí ṣe kíní ìbá tọ́pìkì mo ti rí pé pọ́blẹ́mù bọ̀ àwọn kan ti ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ èyí ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ báwo lè bí ó ṣe wá mọ nǹkan tó kù nínú topic yẹn tí mo fẹ́ ṣe. You get it? That's why if you are coming with some topic to your supervisor will just tell you, ah, what is your back? It's not over anymore. For the fly. Meanwhile, if you have done your assignment completely, for the fly, what do you need to do? Just identify what people have done. Then identify what is left to be done. For every research, to bá téèyàn bá ṣe tí bá ṣe ń parí ẹ̀ báyìí, there will be a lacuna, a research gap. Immediately you complete that study, there will be another problem. So that means one study cannot do what? Cannot provide solution to a problem. It's just one problem, but one study cannot provide solutions to it. So how do you now identify? If you are reading documents, what are those things that you look out for? If you are reading past researches on your problem, what are those things that you will look out for? If you are sure, okay, Alaji.
I think one of the things we need to look out for is the solution and the advice for advanced study on it. I think we need to look to at that. One. Two. Another one is the topic. What is it looking at?
That's the first thing that we need to check.
So what is it looking at?
The topic.
Yes. Is it looking at Lagos?
That's the first thing. You know, thank you, Alaji. Let's dissect this topic. You still want to continue? Kí lè gbà yín láyè?
Don't worry.
Sir?
Don't worry.
Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ point yín tán kí ẹ̀mí tó sọ èyí kí wò wọ́n àpapọ̀ rẹ̀ sọ lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́.
Yes, I'm thinking we should look at the variables.
Alaji shy.
In the topic.
In the topic.
Alaji shy.
Ẹ máa ní láti dìde o. Ẹ máa kọ́ wa o because ó dàbí yóò ti ń wà interesting báyìí. Alaji ni we first look at topic.
Yes.
Right? Now, he want to tell us how we are going to dissect that journal topic. This is not our own topic, oh.
Yeah.
It's other people's topic. For instance, we have identified that people used to fail mathematics. So, you know that your problem is about poor performance in mathematics. But to know exactly where you want to come from, like your possible solution, you need to read what other people have done. So when you are downloading the journal, the first thing that you will check, and like you said, is what?
The topic.
So how are we going to dissect the topic?
We look at the variables in the topic.
The variables.
The variables. So what are they looking at? Are they looking at Lagos State? So I look at Ogun State. Are they looking at Southwest? So I look.
We have variable.
Yeah.
Please, let's pay attention here. It's very, very necessary. Very, very necessary. Variable, yes.
Yes. That what are they looking at? Are they looking at general performance? While I look at female gender differences in performance. And sometimes, for example, in the 2003, there's a search work my wife was doing about I said it yesterday, the effect of single parenthood on primary school people in Lagos State. You understand? So she needs to use Ikorodu as a case study. So what I'm trying to say is that the variables that we are looking at, what is it that they have looked at that there is still a lacuna that we still need can advance on? Are they looking at English or they are looking at mathematics that me can say, okay, let me just look at computer studies. Okay, so the variables will help us more because it is research, we can look further on it. So I think that is one.
Now, do you understand what Alaji is saying? Or I should break it down. Let me break it down. When you are looking at topic, what Alaji said is that you look at variable, and secondly, you look at local, L-O-C-L-E-A. Local. Let's face local first before we come back to variable. If I know that people used to fail, I cannot possibly study the whole of Lagos State, right? So I need to pick what will be manageable for me. Then I will now look at what people have done on that topic. Okay, this one has covered Ikeja. This one has covered
Ikorodu.
No, this one has covered this Ibile. I want to use this Ibile to split it now. Shebi, Ibile not of Lagos State now. I use what?
Ikeja.
So, a study I've looked at Ikeja, so I don't have problem. Another study I've looked at Badagry, right? Another study I've looked at Ikorodu. Another study I've looked at
Lagos Island.
Let's say, okay, three study I've looked at this area. It remains
Lagos Central.
this area. So, that is out of these two, I can pick one. So, if I tailor my topic to any of my organ, and they said that they've done it before, because I've done my research and I've contextualized my research, I cannot say no, sir. This study that I said they've done, when I check, they've done study on in Ikeja, Badagry, and Ikorodu. However, no study has been conducted on Lagos Island and Epe. So if I pick Epe, for instance, I cannot say why I'm picking the Epe. If you look at it, Epe is far from
Importance of that area.
this thing, and if you look at Epe is doing this, contributing this, so if you don't see people participating from this angle, it shows that it will lead to this, that, you know, I will give them the importance of
that
focusing
area.
on
that
area. Do you get? So that means even though I'm doing the same problem that others have done before, but I'm looking at a new area entirely. You have a question? Okay.
So I want to ask that, looking at this locale, is it the same as
Scope. And this is how I want to define your scope. This is how, let me answer your question. When you are looking at scope, your scope will be coming from your research problem. What are those things that you look at? You look at topic scope. Under topic scope, you'll be talking about variable and local. Local is known as geographical area. Locality. Do you get? So after topic, we'll be looking at instrument scope. Right? Topic, geography, geographical, instruments, and any other one. Majorly these three. These are what form your scope of the study. Because under geographical, you will be talking about participants, your populations there. Are you with me? So that means if you don't identify your problem very well, it will be difficult for you to write your scope of the study very well. They are interwoven. So aside from the variable, that is local, right? We have solved the local. Now, variables.